What impact do you think the C20 had on the final communique at the G20 Leaders Summit?
I think really importantly, it showed all G20 leaders that the voice of civil society really matters, both to the credibility of the process and also importantly to the outcomes. I think on the outcomes, there were some very strong wins for us. The strong commitment to inclusive growth. We were delighted to see that climate change definitely was on the agenda. And importantly, that growth target for the lifting up of women's participation in the labour market. That's got to be good as long as we get it right.
What value did you and your organisation gain from being a part of the C20 collaboration?
I think it was an excellent opportunity for us, obviously, to work strongly collaboratively with other key parts of the Australian civil society and also globally. It really focused our attention on some of the key global challenges that we face on the economic front. And obviously now we'll be making sure that some of those commitments in the G20 communique are brought back home to make sure that we do have inclusive growth, which means economic growth, which makes sure that people who have the least, their lives are better off.
In 20 years' time, it'll be Australia's turn again to host the G20. What advice would you give to the C20 organisers in 2035?
I think we need to continue to lift up our ambition here. I think that the civil society voice was still fairly new. We were appropriately grateful when we got in the room. In 20 years' time, I'd love to see civil society leaders in the room working with the G20 leaders alongside business and us really coming out with a collaborative approach to the, I'm sure, big challenges that the globe will face at that time.
As the Deputy Co-Chair, what would you reflect on as the great successes and the biggest challenges for the C20 this year?
Look, I think that some of our great successes, as I say, was really strong consensus across civil society about our agenda. I think it was surprisingly easy for us to come together to say these are the big issues for us. I think the big challenge, of course, was how we really influence that. This is still a very opaque process. It is overwhelmingly dominated by men, when over 70% of the global community, those who have the least, are women and their children. And I think we need to make sure that we have much stronger diversity. I hope the political system looks slightly different and more diverse in 20 years' time.